Hello everyone. Let us see about the electrode electrolyte and electrode skin interface in this video. The electrode electrolyte skin junction can be modeled as a cascaded series of resistance capacitance networks and potential sources. The characteristics of these junctions are important to consider when measuring biopotential signals generated by the body, because these small signal currents must pass through the junctions to be measured. The resistances, capacitances, and potentials associated with these junctions can change with the type of electrode and electrolyte, or time, temperature, and physical displacement. The electrode-electrolyte junction fundamentally consists of a metal element in contact with an electrolyte. In this situation, an electron-metal ion-electrolyte ion interaction occurs. Metal ions enter the electrolyte and orient with respect to electrons in the metal and electrolyte ions in the electrolyte. This orientation layering results in a charge distribution, that is half potential, at the metal electrolyte junction. A simple circuit model for the electrode electrolyte junction can be described as a resistance in parallel with the series resistance and capacitance, and the combined network is in series with a voltage source, that is the half potential. At low frequency, this impedance is mostly resistive and high valued. At intermediate frequencies, this impedance is becoming more capacitively dominated and drops rapidly with increasing frequency. At high frequencies, this impedance becomes resistive and low valued. The electrolyte skin junction is characterized by the interaction of the electrolyte with the top layer of skin, that is the epidermis. The epidermis itself is composed of layers. The top layer, the stratum corneum, consists of dead skin cells. These dead cells establish an impedance and behave as a semi-permeable barrier when in contact with an electrolyte. Ions underneath this barrier orient with respect to ions in the electrolyte, so a potential is developed. A simple circuit model for electrode electrolyte skin junction can be described as a two resistances, that is the electrolyte resistance and dermis resistance, in series with the parallel resistance and capacitance from the epidermis, and the combined network is in series with a voltage source, that is the skin potential. At low frequency, this impedance is largely resistive and high value. At intermediate frequencies, this impedance is capacitively dominated and drops rapidly with increasing frequency. At high frequencies, this impedance becomes resistively dominated at low values. The electrode electrolyte skin junction decreases in impedance with increasing electrode surface area. Conversely, very small skin electrodes will have high electrode skin junction impedance. As electrode contact areas shrink, increasing demands are placed on the recording amplifier. This is because the recording amplifier input impedance should be much greater, that is 100 times greater than the electrode source impedance to minimize loading. As the source and load impedances increase, then the associated conductors running from the electrode skin junction to the amplifier input become receptive targets for ambient displacement currents in the local environment. According, protective shielding is needed in these cases to control and redirect interfering displacement currents away from the sensitive input conductors. The volumetric impedance depends on the amount and the types of body tissues in the current path. The skin contact impedance includes the impedance of the skin and the contact impedance at the skin interface. So the voltage, frequency, current duration, contact surface area, contact pressure, skin condition, moisture level, all these factors influence the skin contact impedance. It varies widely from thousands of ohms with dry skin and a small contact area to negligible values when the skin's integrity is compromised with lacerations or by heating effects of the current. And next we have the impedance checking. So impedance checking between a pair of electrodes attached to the skin surface is a very simple method to verify the conductive quality of electrode skin junctions. For high quality biopotential recordings, it's best to have low electrode to skin junction impedances. So generally a good electrode skin junction impedance measurement consisting of the series combination of the two 1 centimeter diameter silver chloride surface electrodes and the tissue volume between will be 10 k ohms or less. Nearly all the measured impedance is comprised by the two electrode to skin junctions, example about 5 kilo ohms each, and the tissue volume typically has much lower impedance, example less than 100 ohms. So this true terminal impedance measurement is best performed at a frequency which is mid-band in the spectra for the signal of interest. Surface biopotentials have most signal energy in the range of 1 to 300 Hz region. Consequently, anywhere from 10 to 30 Hz is a reasonable test frequency because the number in this range is roughly mid-logarithmic to the overall signal spectra amplified. Two-terminal electrode to skin impedance checking using a DC current is unreliable because of the influences of the electrode-electrolyte equilibrium half potentials, over potentials, and also the skin potentials. All electrodes exhibit noise when attached to the skin interface. So this noise has several components. First one is a thermal component associated with the resistance of the electrode skin junction. Second one is a spiky erratic component associated with sporadic ion transfer, and then a slow moving drift associated with the offset potential between skin and electrode. And lastly, the movement artifact, which may have spiky or drift aspects resulting from any electrode physical displacement on the skin interface. So the commonly used electrodes for skin contact impedance are silver chloride electrodes. They are used for ECG, EOG, and EEG, etc. And then we have gold tin stainless steel carbon composition electrodes also used for skin contact impedance.